Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about lenses. Specifically, what lens should you get? So I'm part of different groups between Reddit, Facebook, and one thing that I'm constantly seeing is, oh, what lens should I get with very little context? Or they'll say, I have a Canon R8, or I have a Canon R6 Mark II, or whatever. What lens should I use? And then they don't have any context to it. Some will be like, what's the most versatile lens I should get? I want to do all these different things. Well, unfortunately, some of those things, you need more than one lens for. I mean, that's just the sad truth of it. You need more than one lens. But I have 6 lenses that I'm going to talk about today that can fill almost any and every purpose you could possibly need. Now, I am a Canon shooter, but a lot of this will also apply to either third-party lenses or other camera systems like Nikon, Fujifilm. I'm forgetting the other one. There's another big one besides Canon and Nikon and Fujifilm, Pentax. Holy crap. If you think of it, leave a comment below. If you say I'm ridiculous for not remembering, you're right, I am. So let's start off with literally the most versatile lens that I own. And that would be the 24-105 f4L lens by Canon. Now, this has a very large focal range between 24 millimeters and 105 millimeters. It has a constant aperture of f4, so it's not huge and heavy like the f2.8 version. And it's a very nice compact lens. It's got external zoom, but it's a very nice light compact lens, and it's an L series lens, hence the red ring around it. So I've actually used this for weddings. I've used this for studio work. I've used this for video. I've used this for street photography. I've used this for family photos, group photos. This can work pretty much well in any scenario, except if you're trying to get a lot of background blur and really separate your subject. This is not the best lens for that because it is an f4 constant aperture. f4, you're going to get a lot more of the background. What I would recommend, and this one's a budget-friendly version. There is a more expensive, lot heavier version, but if you're looking for really creamy backgrounds, really nice portrait lens where you're not in the studio, this will work great if you're in a studio and you're taking portraits in a studio. A lot of times you're shooting at like f6.3, definitely higher than f4. So you don't need to blow out the background. This is super sharp, super nice. Is my RF85 f2. This is actually a fantastic portrait lens. It has the aperture of f2, it's a prime, and at 85 millimeters you're getting a lot of really good compression. You will need to have plenty of room to step away from your subject, but any 85 lens is going to be great. Sigma has 85 millimeter lenses with a f1.4 aperture. Canon has their L Pro level lens that's an f1.2 aperture, but that lens is gigantic, very heavy, and super expensive. But if your goal is to completely blow out the background and separate everything from your subject, then that would be the lens to get. This is a great all-around budget-friendly, lightweight portrait lens, the f2 version. Now let's talk about the lenses that I bring on weddings. There are 4 lenses that I bring to every wedding. And that would be the RF 16-28 f2.8 and the RF 35 f1.8 lenses. So one is a zoom lens, the other one is a prime lens. So at the beginning of every wedding, I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos regarding this, but at the beginning of every wedding day, these are the 2 lenses that I start out with. If I need some environmental portraits when I'm with the bride or the groom, great environmental portraits, and it's got a 1.8 aperture. This is great for literally everything else. It gives me ultra wide at 16 millimeters, and then I can zoom into slightly tighter at 28 millimeters, but it's wide enough because a lot of times I'm going to be in tight rooms, whether it's a hotel or some other smaller space. I need to be able to capture all that. Plus, when I want to get establishing shots and get some of that landscape photography for the day, I can be at 20 millimeters, 24 and 16 millimeters, and really get that wide landscape opening shot to, to capture everything like that. Then once I am done with that, I switch over to the other two lenses that I use pretty much for the rest of the day. And that would be the RF 28-70 f2.8 and the previously mentioned RF 85 f2. Now with these lenses, this is really a great all-purpose, all-around lens. It's almost as versatile as the 24-105. This one has a constant aperture of f2.8. It's a zoom lens, and you can have a good focal range between 28 millimeters and 70 millimeters. So if you want to do portraits, bump this up to 70 millimeters and lower your aperture to 2.8, and you'll get some really, really nice portraits. This is just a great all-around lens. Now, if you want something that's even lighter and less expensive than the 24-105 f4, and you maybe need a little bit more low light performance, go with this one. Great lens. And then when I'm doing couples portraits and other portraits like that, I'm using the 85 f2. I mean, I already talked about this lens. It's a great lens, budget friendly, lightweight, just all around great lens. But what is my favorite lens and what is my favorite focal length? I've not brought it up yet. A lot of people are going to be like, well, 50 millimeters is a great lens or a great focal range. And yes, 50 millimeters is a fantastic focal range. You have multiple versions of a 50 millimeter lens. Canon has the RF 50 f1.2. They also have their newer f1.4 VCM lens. And with any good kit, you gotta have the extremely budget-friendly yet surprisingly super sharp nifty 50. This would be the 50 f1.8 lens, or like I said, the nifty 50. I mean, look at this. This isn't good for video because it's not image stabilized or anything like that. Luckily, my camera has IBIS, which is in-body image stabilization, but this is my favorite focal range, and my goodness, if I want to just do some lightweight portraits, I've taken this on family portrait sessions, I've taken this on other portrait sessions where I was like, you know what, I just want to carry light, I want something that's simple. I honestly love this lens, and I will never, ever, ever not have this lens. Even if I was shooting Nikon or any other system, this is the lens. This is what it would be right here. So I just can't say enough about this lens. 50 millimeters is my favorite focal range because it's versatile enough to where you can get some wide environmental portraits, and then you still get enough compression where you can walk in and get some really, really nice portraits with a nice creamy background and subject separation. So that is my collection of my favorite lenses. Now, I do have a few other lenses that don't get used all that often. One of them I'm actually filming on right now, which is the 24mm f1.8 lens. I also have the 16mm f2.8. That kind of took a back seat once Canon came out with the 16-28 f2.8. This gives me more versatility, and I still get that wide, ultra-wide 16mm focal range. So my RF 16mm f2.8 lens is just kind of sitting on the shelf, not doing a whole lot. I also have the RF 70-200 f4 lens, and I use that almost exclusively for video, and that's only because that's really the only time I need it. If I'm going to do sports, if I'm going to go shoot sports, that's the only other time that I'm going to take it out, whether it's photo or video. I'm going to, like if I'm doing a football game, soccer game, any outdoor sport, indoor sport, I'll probably go with the 24-105. Outdoor, I'm going to stick with the 70-200 because I've got plenty of room to move around. But I don't use it that often. It's kind of a niche lens, at least for me. A lot of people swear by the lens, and I don't blame them. It's a great lens, especially the 2.8 version, which is bigger, heavier, and more expensive. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for great lenses and Doesn't matter the brand, because a lot of the other brands make lenses that are similar to these. You can't go wrong with some of these, especially the Nifty 50. I think every single brand makes a version of the Nifty 50. And if they don't, they should. So hopefully you like this video. Please like, subscribe. And if you have any questions about lenses, please put it down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer any question you have about lenses, even if it's Canon lenses, Sony lenses, Nikon lenses, whatever. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.